What if I told you there isn't just one way to retire early, but five? And depending on which one you choose, you could either lock yourself into a lifetime of restriction or build true financial freedom. FIRE, financial independence, retire early, sounds simple. Save aggressively, invest smart, quit working. But here's what most people miss. The math matters, but the psychology matters more. Today, we're breaking down the 5 types of FIRE, the real math behind each, and the hidden psychological trade-offs no one talks about. Let's get into it. The core principles of FIRE. Every FIRE strategy is built on 3 pillars. Live below your means, save at an unusually high rate, invest long-term in diversified assets, and the famous formula. You need 25 times your annual expenses, because annual expenses divided by 0.04 equals your FIRE number. That's the 4% rule. But here's the catch most people ignore. The 4% rule was built for someone retiring at 65, for 30 years. If you retire at 45, you're funding 40 to 50 years. That changes everything. Now let's break down the 5 paths. 1. Lean FIRE. Lean FIRE equals retiring early with just enough to cover basic living expenses. Think $45,000 to $60,000 per year lifestyle, minimal extras, tight budgeting long term. The math. Let's say you're 30. You want to retire at 50. You need $45,000 per year in today's dollars. With inflation and a 3.5% withdrawal rate, you'd need about $2.3 million. Sounds manageable? Here's the psychology problem. The lifestyle you tolerate at 30 is not the lifestyle you want at 60. In your 20s, you can sleep on couches. You can split hotel rooms. You don't mind roughing it. At 55, you want comfort, privacy, healthcare, flexibility. Lean FIRE locks in your young self lifestyle permanently, and life changes. Marriage, kids, medical surprises, inflation shocks. Lean FIRE works mathematically, but emotionally, it can create long-term friction. 2. Fat FIRE. Fat FIRE is the opposite extreme. Retire early with luxury. Example, 25-year-old wants $200,000 per year lifestyle. Retire at 55. You'd need $12+ million. The hidden cost. To reach that, massive income, 40% plus savings rate, decades of intense sacrifice. The psychology trap? You delay your entire present life to engineer a future explosion of comfort. But life doesn't always wait. You can't defer every experience until 55. Fat FIRE is powerful, but only realistic for high earners with massive income growth. 3. Coast FIRE. This is where it gets interesting. Coast FIRE equals save aggressively early, then stop saving and let compounding do the rest. Example, save $500,000 by 35. Stop contributing. Let it grow at 8% until 65. That becomes about $5.5 million. Sounds amazing, but here's the psychological risk. You feel safe too early. You stop saving. You change careers. You ease up. And you forget, markets don't grow in straight lines. Inflation eats silently. Variables change. Marriage, kids, health. Coast FIRE works only if you measured twice and built margin. Most people underestimate the long timeline risk. 4. Barista FIRE. Barista FIRE is hybrid freedom. You build a smaller portfolio, cover part of expenses with investments, work part-time for income plus benefits. Example, need $70,000 per year, earn $30,000 from part-time work. Investments only cover $40,000. Required portfolio, approximately $2.4 million. Psychologically, this is appealing because you quit the job you hate. You keep income flowing. You reduce pressure. But remember, if your plan requires working part-time forever, you're not fully retired. You're strategically employed. Nothing wrong with that. Just be honest about it. 5. Financial independence, next endeavor. Fine. This is my favorite. Financial independence isn't about escaping work, it's about choosing work. You build enough assets that you don't need money. You choose purpose. You might start a business, teach, volunteer, work less, work differently. Same math, different mindset. The goal isn't never work again. The goal is never have to work again. Money becomes a tool, not an escape hatch. The real psychological framework. Here's the truth. FIRE is not about retiring early. It's about control. Control over your time, your stress, your options. But extremes create blind spots. Lean FIRE can restrict you. Fat FIRE can consume your present. Coast FIRE can create false comfort. Barista FIRE can blur the line. FINE builds freedom with flexibility. The smartest approach? Combine math plus mindset. Build assets aggressively. But don't forget, you're designing a life, not just a number. Because financial independence isn't about quitting, it's about choosing. And that choice? That's real freedom. This channel isn't about fast wins, it's about steady progress. If that's the kind of mindset you are building, subscribe and stick around. Please like the video if it gave you more perspective. It helps this community to grow quietly, just like growth should. See you in the next one.